back to reality, and there it comes gravity. Welcome to another episode, my fellow cultists. This one is going to be special, for a special occasion. First of all, I want to take a moment and say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and may you have a wonderful year ahead of you, full of joy and excitement. 2021 has been an excruciatingly tough year, and one can only hope that 2022 would be better. I'll save you the pessimistic views. Now, it would not be a episode without an excuse for late uploading, right? Well, that's the thing. Today I would be emptying my mind and sharing with you what has happened to me. But before that can happen, let's take a moment and make a quick shout out to our sponsor. No, we don't have a sponsor yet, Bez. We were supposed to kill a dragon. You know, the one that the other half told us to make haste, but we wasted the time instead. Don't know what the other half was talking about without it. Go kill a lousy look-alike dragon imposter thingy. But still, let's go hunt down a dragon. Where have I been though? Last I can remember, we were tidying up a reasonable schedule, we were uploading consistently, and here we are. A couple of months without any upload, without any episode, and without any sort of vital signs that I may or may not be here. I'd like to ask you to keep an open mind, because we needed some us time. You wouldn't understand that I'm only asking for your support helping us go through this, because there are a few problems that are ongoing and it's been hard for us.
Wrong excuse, pal. This is an abomination.
Sorry, my bad. I apologize about it because that shouldn't be something I would joke about. Well, the truth to be told is that I was going through a dark place, which I'm now out of. But I won't guarantee it because every time the light goes out, I might end up there. And in all seriousness, I've had some discussions and sought some help about what to do, what to achieve, where to go. And it seems my hiatus would be a little bit more prolonged because I want to take a vacation to Hawaii to search for some meaning in my life. Could be within a couple of months to a few years before I can get back at it again. So I'd like you all to sympathize with me and feel bad for what I'm going through at the moment.
Wrong excuse again, chum. But you ain't even that bad.
Fine. This is going to be a big one to swallow. I've been caught up with university and work. There, I've said it.
Good.
So yeah, essentially I've been entangled with projects a little too much. Couple that with a bit of drama I've been facing, and there is the recipe for hiatus. But since the semester would be ending soon, I guess we would also be returning to normal schedule very soon. Now, university assignments would be a significant contributor to my problems, yet having a paying job on my hand is another. Aside from that, I have to keep a paying job since I can't rely on YouTube at the moment for obvious reasons. However, if the job is a freelance marketing type of work, then it would have similarity to a medical expert being held on call. Sometimes I'm free and got nothing on my plate, while other times I'm being thrown ear deep into a septic tank. As for the job itself, it's like any other entrepreneur type business. A couple of my buddies started to sell industrial rope, and they offered me an advisory role in which I do some of the field work and negotiations to sell their product. I'm not to be confused for a middleman where I find buyers and sellers and commission them for the deal. Rather, it's more like there is a manufacturer who doesn't know the market nor has the time to do their research and field works for advertising and finding consumers. That's where I step in and do the field ops for them. Now, this could be in a way similar to salesmen going from door to door, right? I suppose kinda. However, I'm not the seller here since that company would be signing their own contracts. But when you have a small shop, you can't just hop onto Amazon or Alibaba. I mean, on paper, that could work, but there is a risk. What if there are no customers? Because no one actually knows who you are. That is the problem small businesses will face. And for that reason, me as an advisor would have to spread the word that, hey, we have this product, and I know you don't trust me. Frankly, I don't trust you either. But you know, if you need this, I'll happily sell it to you. And if we form that trust, we would potentially do more business together. That could be a very watered down version of what I do, but hey, gotta make a living and pay the bills, you know? Besides, I like what I'm doing because it is also within my ideals and mindset, and I prefer doing it over a 9 to 5 job because I'm good at it. By the way, for the record, shout out to everyone who does a 9 to 5 job. It takes a lot of commitment and dedication to do it, and I lack that mentality. Also, those type of jobs mostly come with a lesser financial risk, even though there are occupational hazards to them, but financially speaking, if it is a reputable establishment that pays monthly, regularly, with no excuses, then it's a cool job in my opinion. But in the end, when it comes to personal preferences, I mostly rely on freelancing. Something just struck me out of the blue right now, as if I'm having a cunning plan. It just happens to occur to me when writing and recording this episode, and why not seek the help of the YouTube audience? I mean, pretty much anyone could be watching this episode. Maybe there's a potential to advertising those products on my own channel. Who knows? It would be a risk since there are people who would do these, and it turns out their businesses are a complete flop or a scam. Then again, to avoid that scenario, I must build a reputation in a fashion that I wouldn't end myself as a scam. Imagine the headlines: Scam baiter is being investigated for scamming. That would be hilariously ironic. Maybe in the next episode I would tackle that, but for now it's just a theory. A Bez theory. And maybe I should stop ripping off some catchphrases from game theory. Ooh, here come some cliches now. This is going to be a one-time opportunity for you, my fellow cultists, because it's completely risk-free, like 0% risk-free, and I'm not doing this for my own sake. No, it's because of you, ladies and gents, because I must cheer you up for the holidays and give you a special Christmas present by presenting you this get-rich-quick scheme. I mean business opportunity. It will also be accompanied by a payment wall that will only give you a pat in the back, along with a self-help course that will only provide help to myself financially. Which I totally didn't plagiarize the absolute living shit out of it from another YouTube business guru bastard.
Any chance we could get some air to loudmouth and so?
Oh, right, I forgot. There is two of us. I suppose we need to follow up with what has happened so far.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
By the way, Demon Me, it seems like we have arrived. I think during the sketchboard phase you've mentioned something about we are taking turns and making this battle like one of those legendary fights in animes where there are dramatic quotes being exchanged, while they have a fight with an epic soundtrack rolling in the background. I'm really sorry that couldn't happen, because I was explaining my hiatus stuff, you know?
Yeah, you know, sir, I'll let you off the hook this one time because this isn't the actual escape. As for you who are watching us, that would be the new name for the Enderman and the Dragon.
Alright, back to the game then. As you saw, we ventured in search of a portal to the abyss, and along the way we've also made a portal to the underworld that would later be used as a passage for me to travel between here and the fortress. And oh boy, I got lucky, because I'm sure humanity would tear me apart if this was the actual legendary godly battle that it was craving for, and suddenly I would mess up its monologues. But anyhow, we'll be spending a great deal of time here now that our access is enabled. There is another matter I'd like to bring up, which is I really want to get some 1.18 action, but on the other hand I really don't want to leave this run behind, because I've spent a lot of effort planning for the builds here, and I can't let them go to waste. But for now it's not too much of a deal, because who knows, maybe we'll just go with this run for a bit longer, and by the time the next updates come in, we'll try those. Also, someone remind me to nag about this off the mic. It seems like this is a bit too harsh for us, since clearly this dragon is giving off bad vibes and a tough time. Don't you think so, Bez? I mean, you said it's an imposter and a lookalike, but it ain't going down like one.
I think I was pretty clear that it was not the actual real investigator. I don't remember saying anything about it going down easily though. Also, don't you have other topics you want to talk about? Instead of bothering me with these questions, you should go on one of your other wild rants.
Alright, fair enough. So lately, aside from work and university, I've also been caught up with some experimenting. You see, during my free time, I've spent some hours on GarageBand and practiced a bit to see where it would lead. Not gonna lie, it's been a pretty fun venture, and I've made some decent stuff. I'll make sure to leave a link to my SoundCloud here, so that you can go there and check it out for yourselves. Also, alongside the GarageBand stuff, whenever I got the chance, I've practiced with my 3D modeling skills and made some really sick models within 3ds Max. However, I'm still learning, and it occurred to me that I have some major issues with the rigging and creating textures there. One of the major issues is that I can't get a grasp on how to apply a bitmap texture to a model, and I had no luck in finding tutorials on YouTube. I mean, the models, they look dope, but when I want to make a bitmap file for it and unravel it, it just doesn't want to work. The bonus point is that I don't know what to do after that, because on the first step, one has to know how to create a bitmap file like actual artwork for the textures and details, and I can't do that. As a side note, I have to mention this, that there are tutorials for this subject on Adobe Material Editor, but I don't have access to that specific software, so I don't know whether there are any reliable alternatives to that method. Then again, these are just some hobbies to help me get through the pressuring times. You know, I hate it that it's been made meaningless into oblivion, but man, depression hits hard. Sure, I made a couple of cliche hiatus jokes, and one could interpret that is my sixth sense of humor. But make no mistake, my fellow cultists, even though I'm not by the psychology terms clinically depressed or even have a diagnosis of depression, still, I didn't get much social interactions lately. And you better believe me when I say this, but it hits pretty damn hard. Sometimes I get some random feelings of the blues, and even though I can quickly get over them and solve the issues, they just keep coming back one after the other. Sure, society tells us to suck it up and not talk about it because emotions are so unhip and like not cool with the vibes. But if it was to come from someone like me, I'd just say they are human and we should have them and indulge them. We should learn about emotions. And if we can accomplish that, we should seek professional help. And I'm not talking about those specific professionals who would drown you in a bunch of pills or even worse. They tell you it's all fine. And you just have to deal with it without showing you how to deal with it. Just take a look around and see why that doesn't help. Tumblr is a very good example of the aftermath of what a crazed psychology counseling session could do to a person. And in the end, it won't matter. When the damage is done, it will be irreversible. You don't see me get all serious like this too often, and there's a good reason behind it. Because I prefer crying my tears behind the mask of a clown. Laughing at stuff is easier for me. And please, please, please hear me out when I say this, my fellow cultists. What I do is not okay. It's not healthy. And it will harm your mental integrity. And to be honest, I can't think of a better Christmas present for all of you. An advice from a madman. If you would do me a favor and keep an open mind while you digest my past sentences, it would be extremely great. Because I don't intend on sharing negative subjects to ruin the holidays as some would suggest, rather the opposite. The best gift I could think of to share with you is to take a moment to look at our behaviors during this past year. Those negativities belong to the past, and we can solve over the future that hasn't come yet. Since we only get the moment, we are living right here and right now. That's why it's called the present, my fellow cultists.
Oh, my freaking demented creator. Did you just quote and impersonate Master Uwe? Bloody unbelievable. You do you. And I'll be bettering this lizard face's soul. Just you Martians. future to be ready soon.
Yeah, sure thing, other me, noted. But adding to my philosophical gift, and before I turn to yet another Darman ripoff, and this channel takes a different course into the realm of unrealistic life lessons, I should just let you beautiful people know that no matter what it is that you go through, you will get through it. And you can always resort to my videos if you feel sad. That is something personal that I wanted to share with you because I endure bearing a burden a tad bit more often than what you might think. Everyone has their fair share of loads, pun intended, that we can't simply get rid of. Double pun intended. And to top this episode, stay safe, Merry Christmas, and have a wonderful year ahead of you.